Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome. I'm really excited to share all the different ways that bullying can happen. And it's not just being a victim to bullying, there's a lot of different bullying. I'm going to begin. I'm going to pop back and forth because I'll ask you some questions. This can be a really sensitive topic, all right? Because we get accustomed to bullying as adults. And now more than ever, it seems that we're plagued in a world of daily outside voices, daily bullying, okay? And um and we become accustomed to it. And I want to say and teach you the ways that it shows up so that you can then be empowered to change it, okay? So, for today, I want to go deeper into the subject of bullying. I'm going to speak to three different types of bullying, and they fall into different categories. Okay? We'll start with the first category of being bullied by others. And there are four ways that being bullied by others shows up for the person who has been bullied, has been a victim of bullying, whether it's current or from the past. It serves us to talk about it a bit, all right? So the first type of being a victim to bullying is physical bullying, okay? Where we're being hit, we're kicked, maybe we were tripped, okay? Laughed at when we were tripped, right? Even spitted on, right? And these types of physical bullying, most often, I say that in parentheses, okay? It's the operative word there. Most often occur when we are during our childhood, at school or among peers, right? And even your chair being pulled out, right, from underneath you is when you were sitting down is a form of bullying. It's just an example. And this type of bullying, not your chair being pulled out, but physical bullying would show up in adulthood as a partner, okay? If you live with somebody who physically hits you or pushes you when they walk by you, maybe they physically hit you, okay? Now, this type of bullying as an adult, though, falls into actually a different category that I will address in a hot minute here, okay? But the second category of being a victim to bullying is verbally bullying. Yeah. And that would be being teased, being threatened, being called an ugly, nasty name, okay? Being yelled at, being harassed. Now, in high school, I was bullied, and many of you have been bullied, okay? And I was verbally abused, or I was that, but we're talking about bullying. I'm not going to complicate the subject here. So I was verbally bullied primarily by two guys. Hold on. No, I'm not sick. I talk all day. So here we go. And so these two popular boys, and our parents were friends, to complicate it, would tease me in class by telling me that I was too skinny, by telling me that I looked like I should be in grade school and I had no business being in high school. No, I'm not crying about it. It's because I was coughing. Okay. So it really impacted me, by the way, that type of bullying. And truthfully, that was nothing to the things that they did. But I bet you had bullying also. Bullying can happen in our adult life by people who have different points of view. I can't suck and talk at the same time. So, it showed up for me recently. Maybe it did for you. So, here's a little story, okay? I voted in this recent election for a write-in candidate. A friend called me out in a group of about 10 people, okay? telling me that I could have cost the Biden race. I don't know if you know where I live, okay? But I live in Los Angeles. I live in a state that no matter who is Democrat, they will win the state of California. Follow me? So I voted for someone, and I had to go to great effort to vote for her. I had to have a notary done that would recognize so that when my ballot went through, she would get counted. It wasn't just something I made a decision for at the last minute. All right. The reason I voted for this individual that the bully, by the way, who called me out, did not care, was because I truly believe in her. Did I think she was going to win? No, I didn't. And I wanted to empower her to keep this process going and really run again, because she has a message that the American people will resonate with and what we need. So political bullying can happen. I have friends on both sides, by the way, and by virtue of what I do for a living, you know what? I see the good in both politicians, actually. Okay, and I can see the annoying stuff that each side finds. So I really can roll with either conversation. All right. But I have some clients who really believe in Trump. And they are so fear-based because they are afraid that they will be bullied, and they probably would be. Okay? We all kind of know that. Okay? So maybe that doesn't speak to you. But maybe another way of being bullied is you might have a spiritual friend who calls you out in a group. Maybe you have a bunch of girlfriends or guy friends you go bowling with, or you do birthdays together, and call you out for your religious, because you go to church, your religious beliefs. That's a form of being bullied as an adult, okay? And you know what? There are plenty of historical religious bullying in society that happens where they're picked on for the religion they belong to. There is also, okay, and we've been currently in it being brought to our awareness, but really there has been, a myriad of time, longer than we've been alive, where there's been racial bullying because of skin color, the race you were born in. And I'm grateful that the world that we live in right now is taking action to eradicate this. And that's what this whole conversation we're having tonight is about, yourself taking action. But let me keep going. I want to ask you something. If you're comfortable, share with me below, okay, if you in your lifetime have ever experienced being hit, like the physical abuse, okay, or verbal abuse or racial abuse. If you're not comfortable, it's really okay. Okay? And that's why I shared some of my examples, is because we all get it, right? And what's empowering is to know that you don't have to continue to endure it. And it'll be through a different way than what you think. But let me know if you have been physically abused, not abused, cancel that word, bullied. Oh my goodness, right? Lisa Thomas. If you've been physically bullied, verbally bullied, or racially bullied. And they can even be all three. Okay? Hi, Linda Bradley. Hi, beautiful lady. Oh my gosh, Christina, you just hold on, girl. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about yelling. Yes. Mm-hmm. Verbal and physical. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And physical abuse, by the way, can show up by maybe as simple, and I say simple because, see, it gets overlooked, where an aggressive parent, when you're disbehaving, grabs your arm so tight as a child that it bruises you and you don't receive an apology. Maybe they're not literally throwing you against the wall, but you know good and well that hurt. That's a form of physical abuse. That is physical abuse, okay? Yeah, Physical and verbal, I absolutely can relate with. Yeah. All right. Um, let's keep going because I want to talk about another form of being a victim to bullying is within relationships. Here we go, Christina. Okay. Within relationships and among, that can be, it can be our friends, it can be with lovers, our life partners, our families, our exes. Okay. So it can be like this: having rumors started about you, being excluded, receiving the silent treatment. Yeah. Maybe you've been a victim to gossiping. Or have you ever been in a conversation or a situation where somebody just really, they throw that cruel statement and then they follow up with, just joking. Ha, just joking. Oh no, that's abuse. Because those comments to our subconscious and conscious brain land as truth. Doesn't work when they say just joking. Not ever. Okay? Maybe you've had a family member. These are some examples of like I'm just going to now rattle off examples that I've come up with clients. All right? Maybe you've had a family member turn vegan and they now exclude you from their gatherings because you eat meat. Yeah. Okay. Did anyone have a parent who gave you the silent treatment when you didn't behave a certain way or you did something wrong? Anyone have a parent who gave them the silent treatment? And I'll come back to like the 0.4 font here. Anybody get a silent treatment from your parents? My mom gave me the silent treatment. And my mom was not abusive, okay? Not in that, like she was never mean to me, but I'll tell you what, if she didn't agree with me, that's how she let me know. If she wouldn't talk to me. It never carried on for days and days, but I have had clients whose parents had not talked to them for weeks, months, years, okay? Anybody have a silent treatment parent? Or maybe you have a best friend who gives you the silent treatment. Or what about a spouse who does that? Right? Okay. I guess not, because no one's commenting. Well, if you're watching the replay, let me know if you ever get the silent treatment, or if you did as a kid. Oh, you got a big ass whooping. Well, yeah. Wish you got the silent treatment. Yeah, you know what? I got spanked plenty of times too. I get it. But silent treatments as an adult are really not fun. There are many times when, and the silent treatment can be something like a spouse that overworks and is never home and isn't there to listen to you, okay? Or they don't care what you have to say. And so there is no dialogue going back and forth. That is a form of silent treatment, okay? And I know that that's common. You give the silent treatment? Way to go to be self-aware. All right. So relationship bullying can also show up at work. Yeah. With our coworkers, where we feel like they're talking about us in the lunchroom, or we're the one that doesn't get invited to the group when they go to lunch. Okay. We can also have a boss that's bullying. Yeah. I've had a boss that bullied. In many different ways. But we can even have both. So I call this kind of a hostile environment when this type of relationship bullying takes place. All right. The last category within the being a victim to bullying is cyberbullying. This happens a lot to younger generation, all right? teenagers, junior high students. Um, Children are being given, devices, social devices, much younger than ever before. And so it happens, and it happens a lot. It can happen as adults too. So cyberbullying might look like being mocked by somebody online, having embarrassing photos posted from the past, okay? Being harassed by someone on social media, being made fun of in a group chat. Happens all the time, by the way, that one for adults, okay? Where your comment is then mocked in a group chat, okay? And the where your social media has been hacked by a fake hacker, that's cyberbullying. Mm-hmm. So these 4 ways of bullying is how bully shows up, right, when you are the victim to bullying. Next, the second type of bullying, and that is when we are the person being the bully. Okay? Takes 2. It takes one being the receiver and one being the giver. For example, I'm going to go back to the physical bullying, right? And give you an example of oftentimes how that happens, okay? If you are a child that bullied others when you were younger, it is often, okay, because you observed a parent physically hitting the other, okay? Or you were hit by a parent, all right? You were hit at home. This occurred at home. And now the child, and they have no control at home around this, but they have control of their environment at school. So they try and make up that where they lack in the home. And so now they become the bully at school, all right? If a father or mother is hitting one another, it is almost always, okay, almost always an inherited pattern. It can skip a generation, all right? And there was a time, by the way, that if you didn't see it, it wasn't spoken. So a woman could be hit and beat up and not talk about it. It still happens today, all right? But I'm just saying, if you didn't observe a parent and maybe you or your spouse struggles with it, right? It can be an inherited pattern that didn't show up, but it did come through the lineage, okay? Within this is what also being verbally abused person would look like. If you're here's an example of what if you're verbally abusing someone. Okay, the whole intention of this is to bring awareness, everybody. All right, no judgment. Okay, if you're verbally abusive and you're not aware of it, which is quite often the case. Okay, here are some examples. You might find yourself being critical of other people. So it would show up as you're being critical to the people you love that are close to you by pointing out the fact that they don't ever listen to you. They don't ever get it right. You've told them 100 times. Possibly. Yelling. You were raised in a home of yelling. So yelling in the home, or even I've had a boss that yelled. Had no problem yelling, okay? So being verbally abusive doesn't just happen in the home or at school. It happens at work also. Was anyone raised in a home that yells? Christina was. Anybody else have a parent that raised their voice and yelled? And this happens, by the way, okay? No judgment there. All right, I'll tell you why yelling happens. Because as a child of that parent or the parent before, they did not feel understood. They felt invisible. And so the only way they got anything to happen is if they threw a tantrum or they yelled, they raised their voice. All right? Again, we want to make aware why things happen. There's no judgment to it. All right? Anyone have a parent that yelled in the home? Your dad did that to your mom. Yeah, right? Okay, so put below if you had a parent that yelled. You don't even have to say if it was a mother or a father, it doesn't matter. Okay? You could hear your mom down the street. Oh, wow. Um, but then we as children, and I don't know if this is applicable to everybody, but I'll tell you when there's an inherited pattern and then it becomes a learned behavior. So dealing with other people's behavior and what you want in their what and interacting with them, you'll repeat the same thing even though you promised yourself you would not do it. Like for the example, you would not be the yeller, right? And yet no matter what, you're still yelling, you're still raising your voice in order to get your message across. Or maybe you don't want to deal with everybody telling you why it can't happen. And so you just want to be firm to the point and get it done. Yeah, it's very common. All right. Okay. Let's, all right. Here are some other ways that are often overlooked as the person being the bullier. Okay. The person that, you know, causes someone else to feel bullied. All right. In relationships, do you give the silent treatment, right? And it's usually when we give the silent treatment, it is a learned behavior. It's to prove a point, okay? And it could be that you just really believe that your partner or whoever it is you're with should know this by now. Even there is even a belief that they should know what we're thinking. Okay? And so if you have to tell them again, it's not even worth it. All right. You do not need to comment down here because this one gets tricky. Do you unknowingly gaslight? And here's what an example, okay, of what that would look like. That actually recently my client was telling me about, and you might not even be aware you're doing it. So let's say you, and I'm going to use my profession as an example. Okay, this is not my example, but it is an example of a healer because the client is a healer. And let's say that you are exchanging services with another healer or someone else in your profession. Now, here's my example that happened to her. This healer friend of yours is opening is you're the one receiving right now, okay? Okay. So your healer friend is pretty much on her toes for you. If you text her at 10 p.m., she replies. And she works with you until you feel better and she gets you out of that crisis mode. Okay? But after several months, you're not feeling better. Or it seems to be the cycle still repeating. And so it'll show up like this. And this is how it showed up for her. A statement like this will come out of the mouth, sounding something like this. You're always so busy. And you're only available at night. And you never seem to have enough time for me. Okay? So, what they're really feeling is that she wants more time, right? But she blames the friend that she's still sick. When the friend is now devastated because she didn't set healthy boundaries, that's a whole nother subject, and she's been helping her at every spare moment she had. You with me? Okay. Another example. Maybe this happened to you even, or maybe you're a parent with a teenager, okay? So they come home from school and they're coming home for the holidays, okay? And you, being this loving parent, or you as a teenager, your loving mother or father say to you, go ahead, have fun while you're home. We're so grateful you're home. Have fun with your friends, get reconnected, and really enjoy yourself while you're home. Your friends can come to the house, or you can spend time with them. It's just like you're giving them total permission, and you feel as a teenager you're getting total permission, right, to enjoy your time at home. Now here we go. You are maybe Yeah, and let me drool at the same time. Okay, so let's say you've packed the car. The car's packed and you're ready to say goodbye. Maybe you're at the airport and you're ready to say goodbye. And this is what comes out of your mouth. I sure wish we could have spent more time together. I was lonely during the holidays because you spent all your time with your friends. You chose to spend time with your friends instead of being home. Well, okay, the person's sharing this might be coming from a place of, I was really hurt and I want to share what's on my heart, right? But it's really not, okay? Because what's happening is now this person is going to leave at home, and they were just gaslighted. They were just, it's like a double whammy here, right? They were given permission to do something, but how they did it wasn't right. It's a form of bullying. It's being critical, all right? And now they leave and they feel like crap. So whoever said it sure feels better. Somehow they feel empowered, but it doesn't leave anybody feeling good overall. All right, let's move on. Those are subtle ways just to bring to your awareness. The last type of bullying, oh yeah, is self-bullying and patterns of self-punishment that can show up as unhealthy food choices. Anybody have unhealthy food choices? Okay. It can show up as negative chatter. I can't do anything right. Why do I keep doing this? I know better. If I weighed 10 pounds less, if I weighed 100 pounds less, everything would be better in my life. Nobody's ever going to want you. You can't get anything right. I don't have any friends because I'm not worth being a friend with. Oh, people say these things and much worse, okay? Much more negative than that, all right? You can self-punish by feeling guilty about spending any money on yourself. You'll spend it on other people, but not yourself, okay? It's a form of bullying. Everybody else deserves something, but you don't. Now, all three types of bullying suppress your inner divinity. All three types of bullying hold you back from trusting in your own empowered voice. So think about this for just a moment or two. Every time you log into your social media, what is the ratio of negative to positive out there? Half and half? 7-2? Or 9 out of 10 negative? 9 out of 10 positive? Really, I want to know how many negative to the positive, right? Hopefully it will get better. Maybe you are being the bully in social media and you're not even aware of it. Because of your strong viewpoint. It can hurt somebody else that's too timid to speak up for what they are. There's a fine line from speaking our truth and having an impact in a really negative way. And like I said, there's no judgment here. We are at a time in history that we must look at our own behaviors that no longer serve us, these behaviors that trip us up, that as well as, we are in a time in history that we need to step up into our confidence, and we need to let go of allowing, all of us, we need to let go of allowing ourselves to be bullied. And now is the time to let go of self-bullying. It doesn't serve you anymore. Never did, but it doesn't serve you now, right? We are at a great awakening right now. We're being asked to do things we've never had to do before. So we have to let go and set aside these old patterns. All these types of bullying will leave you feeling lost. They'll leave you feeling uncertain of your own powerful self. So in today's invigorating commentary, the content that I'm giving, I want to give you three short. Now these are just what I've been trying to do is give you tools that you can do yourself. I mean, ideally, it'd be great if you hired me. Ideally, it'd be great if you listened to my healing activations and release the vibrational energies that trip you up. But this is a great way, these tools that I'm giving you, to become aware and to take action. And it's all about taking action. All right? So, here I want to talk about these. I'm going to give you these three tips. It's a 3-step process. Because when we embrace change, the inner and the outside bullying, okay, will stop. It will at least stop affecting us the way it does now. 1, I want you to listen for the knock. Literally, the knock. K-N-O-C-K. You have to listen for the knock. And what I mean by that is, for many years, I did my best, okay, to ignore my spiritual and energetic gifts. Worked pretty hard at it, by the way. Even though I would feel these certain gifts begging, okay, to come out of me, I would hide them away. That was safe. At least that's what I thought, right? When in fact, those inner promptings, the knock, okay, were doing their best to unleash my highest calling. You see, I wouldn't be here if I hadn't listened to the knock. They were internally begging me, right? My intuition, okay, to be me. Where are these inner promptings begging you to be you? I like to call it the knock. So think of it this way. Every time you feel your intuition, okay, calling you, pushing you to expand your life, it's not comfortable, by the way. Let me just insert that. I never said it was comfortable. It's just a knock on the door right now. That's all it is. It's a knock on the door to your heart, to your mind, to your spirit. That soul you came to earth with. Sometimes the knock is a soft whisper. Sometimes it's an impression in your mind or in your heart. Sometimes a knock is a feeling. Okay? Other times, it's going to feel like a sledgehammer hit you. And it can come in a variety of ways. When we don't listen for long enough, something will happen. I guarantee it. So if you're facing a health crisis, where are you being awakened to? What's the knock about? For me, I was in a very bad ATV accident. And that was the beginning, because I wasn't listening. That door was not just shut, it was locked and bolted. And it didn't matter how many times I heard a knock on it, I was not going to open that door. I don't even know if I could have. So, if you're being hit by a sledgehammer in your life, and life's falling apart, I want you to reevaluate, what is the knock? Where does that door, okay, where is it still shut? Because I promise you, there's something wonderful behind it. Your intuition can only knock. You must open the door. Many times, like I said, I chose not to open the door, provided by my intuition. The greatest blessing is that your intuition continues to knock until you're ready to embrace your gift. It won't stop, and it's never too late, and that's a false belief. You must simply allow yourself to open the door. And if it's been stuck closed for a while, don't worry. Miracles happen. It'll open, I promise. Okay, number 2. You can tell that I like this one because I think I share this type quite often, You need to talk to yourself. And I mean talk to yourself out loud, okay? And I've been doing it for a very long time. So it might sound silly, it's not, okay? And it has literally served me on a daily basis. There's something that happens when we hear our voice. Mm-hmm. There's something that happens. It happens in the subconscious, and it's like it awakens the soul, okay? And then the two get connected, and miracles can happen, right? Now, I'm talking about giving yourself the time and the space to be alone and listen to what your intuition is sharing with you. To truly listen to your inner voice, you must be still and you must talk out loud. Okay? Because it's in there. It's that deep calling inside of you that knows what you most desire. Those things that cause your spirit to ache with a burning need to bring them to fruition, to bring them to creation. It's really beautiful. And one of the best ways to turn those thoughts, into a wondrous reality is speaking them into existence. But just not in your head. You have to speak them out loud, okay? So speak from your intuition with passion, certainty, and then just crank that volume up, everybody. Turn the volume up, all right? Ask yourself these types of questions out loud. I can't drive it home enough. What would my life look like if I didn't live in a relationship where I felt bullied? What would it be like to have a job that I didn't feel bullied by my clients? I don't take bully clients, by the way. And you shouldn't either. Ask yourself, I don't know, what do I need to do to step into my life path? What are some ways, intuition, you can share with me to internally stop bullying myself? It will bring additional awareness to your life. Now, with this information, there's a responsibility. Because if you receive the answer to your question and you don't take action in it, it will get you nowhere. So, you next need to lean into trust. And literally, sometimes I just lean into trust and I begin to imagine myself moving forward, even though I don't know how it's going to come to fruition. Okay? When I decided to start doing Facebook Lives, I promise you, I did not have a year of content created. I did not know subjects I was going to talk about for four weeks of the month all year long. But I leaned into it. Okay? So you're going to lean into trust. So here we go. First, you must hear the knock. Then you must allow yourself to speak life over yourself through embracing your voice. Okay? Just speak it. Let go of whatever you think you are and speak it. Okay? Then you must allow yourself, that's the operative word, to fall into faith. Let's use trust and exchange it for faith right now for a second. You're going to allow yourself to fall into faith as an expansion of flow to take action. Allow yourself to fall into faith, okay, as an expansion of flow. You're moving forward to taking action. Because hearing the knock and speaking your voice is not enough. You must do. To have change, you must do. If you purchased the Infinite Opulence program and you listen to my healing activations, you have to take action. You heard the knock, you followed your intuition, but you have to do it. It's simple, okay? Maybe sometimes taking action is not so simple, and it's going to require you to have courage to get out of your comfort zone. And I completely understand that you might have some hesitation as a feeling of insecurity. But living a life worried and wondering, is this the right thing to do? That isn't going to stop an old pattern, and it's going to keep you living in an old story. There's no perfect answer to that question, okay? Is this the right thing to do? Just as there is no perfect life, no matter how hard we try to craft one. It would negate the opportunity for us to ascend if life was easy. Does not mean we have to buy into struggle either. This is where you must trust and lean in to you. This is a glorious power of expansion that it's brewing inside of you. It's swirling inside of you already. It's waiting to be revealed. It's waiting to bless your life in ways you never imagined before. And those pesky, bully experiences from the past, the inner voice of the present, or those from childhood, and those in your world right now will begin to exit when you take action. I promise. Watch as they begin to fade away into silence, a healthy silence. And watch how you gain confidence to speak and to take action in your life, leaving you only with a positive voice, a positive mindset, empowered life, really, where you can live a life that honors you because you feel honored in life. I'm passionate about it. I'm passionate about everyone living what they came to do. It's not just for a select few, everybody. It's not just reserved for Lisa Thomas. By the way, I had to work really hard to have the confidence to do what I do, to let go of old paradigms and stories. Yes, I was bullied, but I did plenty of self-bullying too. And I know many of you do it. So if you have a comment, put it below. I kind of got off on my being impassioned about what I was sharing, because it's not a topic that I address ever so bluntly and in detail, because it takes a minute, right? I'll put my glasses on here. All right, Linda, thank you. Thank you, dear one. I'm so grateful that you're on live. I'm so grateful for everybody that's on live or listens to the replay. And I know I delivered a lot of verbal content with the intention, I did it on purpose, to awaken you. I want to knock. I want to be that person knocking so that you listen to your intuition and awakening your intuition, awakening you in life purpose. I'll be that girl for you. If you need to re-listen to it, re-listen to it. Take notes on it. Okay? You're going to open the door when you hear the knock. You're going to talk out loud to yourself, and you're going to ask your higher self questions. And you're going to hear yourself in communication. And then, you're going to step through fear and uncomfortability, and you're going to take action. And I'm proud of you. And I want to hear your stories. I want you to write to me. I want you to share in the group. I don't care where you share it. I want you to share it because I care. I will read it. I care. I care about you living a life that's empowering, that empowers you to move forward. And I'll do it however I can. So I'm sending you off in love. And want you to know how much I value you and how much I appreciate you being part of my tribe. Love you.